Rest here for a breath, where the noise fades and stories come alive. These are not just words, they're whispers of truth, calling to those who seek meaning in the quiet. If you feel pulled to tales that stir the spirit, you're home. Subscribe to dive deeper. Now let the story awaken. The essence of life and the ego. Life, in all its beauty and chaos, can sometimes feel like a tangled web. At the center of every relationship, whether it's between lovers, friends, or colleagues, is the ego. The ego is like the root of a tree, feeding and shaping everything around it, sometimes without us even realizing it. It's the part of us that wants to be seen, heard, and validated. And yet, this desire to be recognized often leads us into traps of insecurity, jealousy, and disappointment. When we enter relationships, we carry our egos with us, unaware that they will inevitably create friction. We seek validation through affection, sex, and intimacy. But the deeper the connection, the more vulnerable we become. And that's when our egos, those fragile walls we've built around our hearts, begin to crumble. What happens when the ego dissolves, even for a moment? What remains? The scene of conflict. Sam and Lucy had been together for 5 years. Their relationship at its best was full of passion, affection, and shared dreams. But over time, something began to shift. Sam, though deeply in love with Lucy, was never truly satisfied. There was always this gnawing emptiness in him, a hunger that could never be filled, no matter how much affection Lucy gave him. To distract himself, he sought validation elsewhere, in the arms of Rachel, Lucy's best friend. Rachel was not just another woman. She was a part of their shared world, their mutual friend. But something more complex simmered beneath the surface. Rachel had always been in love with Sam. She had always admired his charm, his confidence, and the way he made her feel seen. But there was a catch. She wasn't just seeking love. No, Rachel was seeking something deeper, something more elusive. She was searching for validation, for confirmation that she was worthy, that she could be loved. And for a while, Sam gave her that. But this, like everything else, was temporary. Sam and Rachel's secret affair was an escape, a desperate attempt to mask their feelings of emptiness. And Lucy, while she had an inkling of what was going on, didn't have the strength to confront Sam. She clung to the idea of love, of what they once shared, and couldn't face the truth that perhaps love was not enough to fill the gaps that they were both trying to avoid. They were all trapped in their own needs, their own desires. The more they clung to what they thought they needed, love, sex, validation, the further they drifted from what they truly sought, peace, connection, understanding. The turning point, sexual energy and ego dissolution. One night, Sam and Rachel found themselves entangled in a moment of passion that went beyond physical pleasure. It wasn't just sex. It was a feverish escape from everything that was wrong in their lives. They clung to each other desperately, each trying to silence their inner turmoil, each hoping that the other could heal them. For Sam, it was the need to feel desired, to feel like he mattered. For Rachel, it was the need to feel emotionally validated, to know that someone could love her unconditionally. In the moment of orgasm, everything seemed to disappear. The pain, the confusion, the anger, they all vanished. There was only a fleeting, intoxicating sensation of release. For a moment, both of them experienced what could be described as ego dissolution. The walls around their hearts, the fears and insecurities melted away. But this, like all things in life, was fleeting. Once the moment passed, they were left with emptiness once again. The orgasm wasn't just a physical release. It was an emotional and spiritual one, a glimpse into what it might feel like to be free from ego, even if for just a second. But afterward, the longing returned, and with it, the awareness that they were still trapped in their own desires, in their own egos. Buddhist wisdom, impermanence, and the nature of attachment. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. It's an important concept to understand, especially in relationships. When we attach ourselves to someone or something, whether it's a person, a feeling, or an idea, we create expectations. We create the belief that this thing, this person, can fulfill us, can make us whole. But the truth is, nothing in this world is permanent. Everything is in a constant state of change. Sam's attachment to feeling desired, Lucy's attachment to the idea of perfect love, and Rachel's attachment to the fantasy of romance were all sources of suffering. They were all trying to fill a void that could never be filled, because it was a void created by their own desires. Their pain came from the belief that they needed these things to be happy. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that the path to enlightenment involves letting go of these attachments. It's not about rejecting love or connection, but about understanding that nothing in life can fulfill us permanently. True happiness and peace come from releasing the ego, from accepting impermanence, and from embracing the present moment without clinging to it. In the case of Sam, Lucy, and Rachel, each of them had to face their own attachments. Sam had to face his need for validation, Lucy had to let go of her need for perfect love, and Rachel had to release her fantasy of being saved by romance. Only then could they begin to heal. Practical solutions. 3 techniques for overcoming ego and building authentic connections. If Sam and Lucy could have embraced these 3 practices, perhaps their story would have unfolded differently. These techniques are simple but profound. They are tools that anyone can use to release the ego and build deeper, more meaningful relationships. 1. Mindful communication. 2. Sam and Lucy could have saved themselves years of heartache if they had embraced mindful communication. Mindfulness isn't just about being aware of our thoughts. It's about being fully present with the other person. When we communicate mindfully, we listen without judgment, speak without expectation, and share openly without the fear of rejection. This kind of communication creates space for both people to be vulnerable and authentic, which in turn fosters deeper understanding and connection. Embracing impermanence. 3. Everything in life is temporary. Relationships, emotions, and even love itself. When we accept that nothing lasts forever, we can appreciate the present moment without the pressure of trying to make it last. This acceptance helps us let go of the need to control or possess, which often leads to disappointment. By embracing impermanence, we allow love to flow naturally, without the fear of losing it. Loving kindness and compassion. One of the most powerful antidotes to ego-driven desires is the practice of loving kindness, metta. When we practice metta, we offer unconditional kindness to ourselves and others. Sam, Lucy, and Rachel were all caught in their own pain and desires, but if they had been kinder to themselves and to each other, their connection might have transformed. Compassion helps us let go of judgment and create space for healing and growth. Resolution and transformation. The breakthrough came when Lucy, with newfound clarity, confronted Sam not with accusations or anger, but with vulnerability. Instead of demanding answers, she asked him to look within. "Why do you seek validation from others, Sam? What is it that you truly want?" Sam, shaken by her words, began to look deeper into his own soul. He saw the emptiness he had been trying to fill for so long. He realized that he was running away from his own fears of inadequacy and abandonment. He no longer saw Rachel as an escape, but as a mirror to his own unhealed wounds. Lucy, too, had to confront her own attachments. She realized that her idea of perfect love won, where no one ever hurts anyone else, was a fantasy. Love, she came to understand, was messy, imperfect, and always changing. But it was real, and in its imperfection, it was beautiful. Together, they began the slow process of healing. Their love wasn't perfect, but it was real. They learned to communicate more honestly, to embrace the transience of life, and to practice loving kindness towards each other. They found peace not in the absence of conflict, but in the acceptance of each other's flaws. And in that peace, they discovered a deeper connection, one that wasn't rooted in ego, but in shared understanding and compassion. If this story touched a hidden chord within you, share it. It might be the spark someone needs. Subscribe for more tales where the everyday meets the eternal. And know this, it's often through our fractures that light pours in.